hope you're having a fabulous day and welcome back to my channel. Actually, that's presumptuous. In case you're new here, I have made 2 other Instagram videos and you can find them linked in the description below. One of them is about hashtags and how to harness their power, and the second one is even better. It's about 25 tips on how to grow your following on Instagram completely for free and without using any dodgy techniques like follow, unfollow. And the video has gotten over 200,000 views, so it seems to be really useful. People kind of message me about it every day, so if you haven't seen that, I really recommend you watch it. But only after we finish this video, which is going to be about editing your pictures, and we're only going to use an iPhone or any other smartphone and 2 completely free apps. So let's get started. As you can tell, there is a screen right next to me, and I would like to invite you to focus your attention on that because I'm going to be looking down a lot, actually trying to edit the bad boy. So first of all, I wanted to share my credentials with you. This is my Instagram, and this is my full-time job. I'm a travel blogger and Instagrammer, and as you can tell, I have close to 90,000 followers, not subscribers. On here, I have nowhere near that. But if you do want to subscribe, that would help. Also, if you want to follow, that would help. Okay, that's the plug over. Let's actually get started, shall we? So I have chosen an image that performed really well on my Instagram. In fact, it was the most popular image of 2017 with the most likes, most engagement. So I thought it would be more interesting for you to see an image that has already done well than to just use a brand new one. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And I'm going to be using 2 apps, which, as I mentioned, are completely free. One of them is called Snapseed, and the other one is called A Color Story. Most Instagrammers I know don't use A Color Story. They use a different app called ViscoCam. I never know how to pronounce that, but it's this one. And I don't know, I just personally find Color Story a lot more appealing, but it's completely up to you which one you choose. And if you do choose ViscoCam and you want me to do a little tutorial on that one, let me know in a comment below. Similarly, if you want a separate tutorial on either of these apps, Snapseed or Color Story, let me know and I will do it, because every time you guys ask for a video, I do deliver it eventually. All right, so we're gonna go into my photo editing folder and open Snapseed. So we're going to tap here to open a picture, and come on, and I think it's in this folder. Yep, this is the unedited version, and as you can tell, it is a really nice picture. I can totally see why I did well, but it's going to look a lot better when we're done with it. So right here at the bottom you can see looks, and these are different presets and filters on Snapseed that you can use. But I use Color Story for the actual filters. So I'm not going to use any of these, and I'm going to go straight into tools. And the first thing I always do is I click Tune Image and I correct any issues that I think there are. So in this case, I think the shadows are a little too dark, so I'm going to lift them. Let's see, 59, that looks good. And I'm also going to straighten the image. So in this case, there's only a tiny, tiny issue, but it would bug me too much if I didn't fix it. So right about here, a little bit more. There we go. And one thing I did in the actual image that I uploaded on Instagram earlier is I removed all these antennas. Is it antennas? Is it antennae? Not sure. And this might be a little controversial. Some people don't really like changing what the world around them looks like, and they think it's just not very ethical almost. And if you think that, let me know in a comment below, because I'm kind of coming around to that way of thinking. And if I was editing it now, I probably wouldn't remove them either, but I did that in the past and in the photo that I actually uploaded. So let's just keep it real. Okay. And one more. You gone. You dead. That was very cruel. Antennas have feelings. All right, they're all gone. Cool. So now I'm gonna cruel again. I'm gonna click export and save a copy, because if you click just save, you're gonna overwrite the original file, and that's just not a good idea. All right, now that that's done, we're gonna go into photo editing again. Click Color Story, Albums, All Photos. Come on. And we're gonna click this one right here. Continue. And now we are gonna go into into filters, and right here you can see a really long row of different filters, and these aren't actually the filters themselves, these are categories or bundles of filters. And I should mention here that while the app is completely free, you will have to pay extra for a lot of these bundles, so it only comes with a few basics. But the good news is that they're very affordable. I think they cost about $5 each, as in each bundle, not filter, and each bundle has maybe like 15, 20. So it's very worth it in my opinion, and I literally own all of them and they're amazing. But the greatest thing about this app is that you have a favorites tab in which you can save all of the best filters that you use all of the time, and that saves you a lot of time. Anyway, and with colorful images like this one, I already have a bit of a process. I like to add a touch of jelly bean, which is a ridiculous sentence. So we're gonna add, yeah, right about there, looks good. And next up, I'm gonna add a bit of everyday. So this kind of increases the contrast and adds a bit of brightness. There we go, before, after, it's already shaping up. And then a bit of Evelyn, and this is one of my favorites. This is one of my like little secrets because it reduces the saturation, which I like. So my pictures are really colorful, but the saturations actually decrease. So I always focus on colorful subjects, but I don't actually want them to be like in your face. So yes, that's what I do a lot of the time. We're gonna put it right about there. Yeah, it's starting to shape up. And then, oh, I really like Oxford. So we're gonna add a touch of Oxford. Yes, we are. Yes, we are, darling. Yes, we are. I like it. And then I like to add a little bit of warmth because we kind of took the warmth away from this image. This was a very sunny, beautiful day in Burano, so we're gonna add a bit of that back in. And September and November are very similar. Not as months, but as filters, but we're going to go with September. Right about there looks good to me. Yeah, I like it. And then the pièce de résistance, if you will, my favorite filter that I add to every single image is warm fade. And I think it looks brilliant. And one thing I want to say, I am obviously sharing my process on how I edit images, but most people, in fact, every single person has a different style. So you should never try to copy somebody else's style. You should develop one of your own. But this is just stuff that works for me. And in showing you how I do it, I think I'm helping you kind of familiarize yourself with the app. So yeah, that looks good to me. And now I'm going to go into the Tools tab. And I'm gonna bring down the temperature just a tiny bit. There we go. And then when you click tint, this is actually really useful. You can add a bit of pink or a bit of green, but I actually quite like where it's at. So we're gonna click review and then save and finish. And now we are gonna go back into Snapseed because we obviously haven't spent enough bloody time on this. Snapseed, and we're gonna open the image that we've just edited. There we go. And we're going to go into Tools again and see if there's anything we want to fix. So I usually drag the ambience down a little bit. That looks good. And I might actually add some shadows back in because I think we kind of overdid it. There we go. Okay. Okay, I like that. And now one thing that I'd actually like to do is make the sky even paler, and you can do that very easily in this app. So I'm going to drag the ambience down. It kind of creates this nice gradient. And now I'm going to go into the Edits tab and click the second tune image and this little paintbrush right here. And what you can do is you can just paint a specific area. So you can see that red right there. That's the area I'm changing. And the good news is that in this case, we don't need to be very precise about it. So I'm just going to add it right here. And sorry, getting some messages. And right there. Cool. And this is what the change looks like. And I think that looks really good. Sorry, I'm going to turn off my Wi-Fi. Come on, Wi-Fi. You gone. Cool. And I'm fairly happy with that, but there's a final touch that I like to add to my images. This is kind of a new thing for me, but I've fallen in love with the aesthetic of adding a bit of grain to my images. So it's under grainy film, duh, and I'm gonna bring the style strength all the way down, but I'm gonna add, actually 25 looked good to me. There we go. And if you zoom in, you can tell that where I was really smooth before, the image is a little bit grainy. I actually think it looks really cool. It kind of reminds me of those 90s disposable cameras. Yeah, I like it. So now the final thing we're gonna do, because this is a landscape image and landscape images don't perform very well on Instagram, is we're gonna crop it. There we go. I'm gonna click square. Ooh, it was clicked for me, and I would normally move it, but I actually really like the pre-selection here. So I'm just gonna click confirm. Yeah, that looks really good. And now we're gonna export again, save as copy, and save successfully. So all you have to do now is go into Instagram, select the latest image. Ooh, there we go. And now you just click next. And they have a lot of filters of their own on Instagram. So in this case, I just love it. I think it looks great. But sometimes I would add like a little bit of Juno or Ludwig. They have such funny names. Anyway, and then if anything seems a little bit off, like for example, I think this could still use a touch more darkness. So I've added some shadows, and I also like adding fade, so it basically just brings down the contrast and it makes the image look almost like a little flatter, which doesn't sound like a good thing, but I think it looks great. So we're gonna add that. It looks exactly the same as before I made any adjustments, but I feel better about it, so that's what counts. And now you just click next, and I'm just gonna type in 3 dots and go back and save it so that I can use it later on, because it's the beginning of the new year and I don't really have any new images yet. But in 4 days, I am leaving to Africa and I'm going to be there for 5 months. And if you guys want to like follow my journey, you can obviously follow me on Instagram, but you can also subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to be doing little vlogs and introducing you to each of the countries that I'm going to. And I'm going to a few: Ethiopia, Uganda, Tanzania, Malawi, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, South Africa, and Madagascar, in that order. It's going to be crazy. I'm spending like 3 weeks in every country, and I'm going to be going to a lot of different development projects because I'm actually working with the European Commission on this, so it's going to be really interesting and fabulous. Please subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, and I'll see you very soon from Africa. I'm so excited. I'm going to go back now. Bye!